This is the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with your host, Vicki Davis.
I'm so excited to talk about our next guest. Mike Tholfsen is the Principal Group Project Manager for Microsoft Education. He has my favorite YouTube channel for everything Microsoft. So if you have Microsoft 365, you use all those products, this is definitely an interview you're going to want to listen to. So, Mike, it's been kind of an exciting season for Microsoft and for you and your YouTube channel, hasn't it?
Lots going on with education and AI.
What are the big hot things that are going on with AI and Microsoft for schools these days?
For the big ISTE conference in San Antonio this year, we have some really exciting announcements. We have our Microsoft Copilot, which was our chat experience, Copilot Chat, and it's been available for educators for free. It's been available for students who are 18 and older for free, but we've just extended it to students 13 and older. When we talk about Copilot Chat, the other thing that's important is all of the sort of overall compliance and safety that you get from M365 is also with that chat. So, some chat experiences are consumer-based and it's not compliant. They train on your queries, they do all that stuff. Copilot Chat that we have is the one that is safe and secure. So for students 13 plus, now in schools, they'll be able to use that one no matter what M365 offering you're using, the free one or the paid one.
That is huge because we really all are supposed to be teaching about artificial intelligence to students of all ages. And that's been a struggle because it's like, okay, teachers say I'm supposed to teach this, but how? So does this mean that the queries are transparent to teachers, or does it mean we're still kind of over the shoulder, or is an IT administrator able to see what's going on?
With Copilot Chat, we don't currently have insights for educators. They can't watch over the shoulder. This is more about we don't take the data that anyone's putting into the queries and do model training and updates and all that other stuff. If you're using certain search engines and you're signed in, they use all your data to target ads. And it's more about the safe and secure and compliant queries and information that's going into that chatbot. In terms of IT admins, they have control. So now we actually have the ability to set up student age groups. So when you're setting those things up, you might have a group of age 13-year-olds to 15-year-olds. The IT admins can control the age ranges of what accounts are part of what groups. So that's, again, just more of a safety guardrails.
It just means that, 13 and up, we can do this. We need to sit down with our IT administrators, talk about what we want that experience to look like for our students, because it's an important tool. It's not that AI has to be everywhere, but it does need to be somewhere.
Another big announcement we have, Copilot Chat is free and available to everyone. Then we have a paid offering, which is called our M365 Copilot offering. But now we're rolling a set of education-only features on top of that M365 Copilot. There is the plain Jane version of M365 Copilot that anyone from a banker to an analyst, and that's great. But now we're announcing, as I call it, special sauce for educators and staff on top of the basic M365 Copilot. The biggest announcement that we have is something that's called the Teach module, that's just built into the core M365 Copilot experience. If you're an educator and you're using the M365 Copilot, it's a one-stop shop to do a bunch of different education tasks, everything from planning to resource management, creation of study guides, tailoring content, creating rubrics. There's a whole set of capabilities that are all in one module, almost like a homepage. So you can go into Word and use Copilot. You could go into Excel. You can go into PowerPoint. You can go into OneNote. But this new Teach module is that one-stop shop that brings all those experiences into one place. So it's like a home base for educators. Think about it. It's like,
Yeah.
Here are my rubrics. I want to create some lesson resources. I want to create a mail to parents and prepare that. I want to make learning activities or create some flashcards or do some AI this or that. It's all in one place, and it's called the Teach module.
So does it access like what's in your OneDrive?
That's the beauty of M365 Copilot is you can point it at different resources in your OneDrive, different SharePoints you might have. The other nice thing is we've announced we've got standards from not only all the standards in all 50 states, we've got K-12 standards from 35 countries globally. So if I'm in the Teach module, I want to create a new quiz based on a photosynthesis PowerPoint, some documents I might have, and then align it to the 7th grade science standards in the state of Florida. And it can do all that, and you can check it out, you can tweak it. And standards alignment are built into our grounding, and you can pull your content and align it, whether it's quiz or lesson plans or rubrics.
It's huge because AI is great, but it's about the training data. And so you've trained it on all these standards. So basically, you can just call up those standards in the chat as you're accessing your own data. That's pretty amazing.
This part that I'm talking about, the teach module, you don't have to figure everything out in a chat, but this is more like an experience like this home base that's tailored for these different scenarios. We found is a lot of educators like that real simple wizard-like point and click experience. So I don't have to just chat from the ground up on everything. I can just choose to say, I'm making a rubric. Here's the information in my rubric, add the standards, point it at this PowerPoint lecture, click a button, and it drafts that out right there in that teach module. We also have in private preview AI suggested feedback. So if you're writing up feedback on student work, you can do things like summarize the documents. You can have summary feedback on rubrics that you've added for different assignments. So the ability to draft up little pieces of summary feedback and adjust and tweak that, that's one of our big announcements. And then on the student side, probably our biggest announcement in the world of AI is that this is part of our paid offering with the M365 Copilot, something that we just announced recently called Copilot Notebooks. A lot of folks are familiar with Google Notebook LM. And if you know me, I'm a big OneNote fan. I've been doing notebooks a long time. Copilot Notebooks are sort of a similar concept. We already have OneNote as a notebook, and we already have Copilot. So it creates this Copilot notebook that you can interact, talk with, and learn things with. The thing that we're adding, though, at ISTE is a study guide, the ability to generate a study guide in your Copilot notebook. Maybe I'm studying for a heart or anatomy exam. And I've added references. I put in my lecture notes. I pointed to some YouTube videos. I pointed to some PowerPoint decks and Word documents. And it generates a set of content and topics for me to study on this heart and anatomy exam. It can generate interactive flashcards and learning activities on the pages of my notebook. It can generate a personalized quiz that's embedded in my notebook using forms and quizzes. It can track your progress on your study guide. So imagine as a student now, it's really easy for me to generate interactive learning activities on the topic in that Copilot notebook. So some people might say, well, Mike, I don't use OneNote. This doesn't matter to me. Well, it turns out that these Copilot notebooks work in M365 standalone. So you could hate OneNote as much as that would make me sad. You could still use these Copilot notebooks and these study guides from anywhere inside of M365.
These particular innovations are some of the best innovations for our students because here's one thing we've always known. The best students have always made for themselves tests and quizzed themselves and self-graded themselves. Well, now that's available at the click of a button. OneNote has always been the only collaborative notebook I have recommended for classrooms. It's by far the best. I show all my students OneNote, and now with this capability, puts learning in the hands of the student.
So the study guide in this case will create a personalized interactive quiz for little Vicky, let's say. And let's say you get 4 out of the 20 questions wrong in this personalized quiz. You can say, generate a new personalized quiz based on the 4 questions I missed to let me go deeper and give me more practice on those questions. And it'll just do that right there in your study guide. And so it's really cool in that you can get personalization even on flashcards, and students can just do that on their own. It's actually text plus interactive exercises that go into it.
I know everybody talks about AI, and now it's built on top of one of the most useful tools that my students always thank me for, which is OneNote.
Those are probably the student features they're most excited about. And then the last 2 categories, one is something, again, it's a very new concept that a lot of educators probably haven't heard of, and that is a Copilot Plus PC. That's a brand new type of laptop and PC that has AI on the device itself locally. So it's something everyone's heard of in a large language model, the LLMs, or like ChatGPT, Copilot. Something called the SLM is a small language model. So we take a much smaller version of the AI model and we put it on the device, on the PC. And there's something called the neural processing unit, an NPU, that runs these small language models on your PC. So what does that mean? I can do certain AI scenarios without an internet connection. I can do it offline. I don't need to subscribe to maybe a pricier AI service. There are certain things I can do on device. And these devices are new right now, but in the coming years, any device you buy is just going to be Copilot Plus PC enabled. Those small language models, just like with the big ones, get better and better every year. So in the coming years, phones are going to be the same way. Every phone will just have a small language model on it, and they're just going to get better and better. Copilot Plus PC is something we've been working on, and we have a new app. The name is being announced at ISTE. It's called the Learning Zone app. To start out, it's for educators. The idea is using that app on the Copilot Plus PC, educators can open up Learning Zone and they can take their own content, whether it's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, OneNote files. We also work with a lot of partners, everyone from Kahoot to OpenStax for open source textbooks. You put in your content and Spark will help you generate learning and lesson activities for your class. I want to generate some practice and learning activities for my class to work on. Could even be a Kahoot lesson. Now you can generate those Kahoot activities on the device and then push them into the cloud. It saves Kahoot money because they're like, hey, you can just generate the activities right there on the PC and then push them out into the cloud. So this Learning Zone app that we're putting in a public preview later this summer allows educators to generate these interactive learning activities based on my own educator content or based on content with partnerships. We work with Minecraft, we work with OpenStax textbooks, with Kahoot and others, and share that with their class. We're also going to have integration with learning management systems as well as teams. So imagine the educator can use their own device AI, create that content, and then push them into other places that they might work with, whether it's Canvas or Schoology or Teams, or just share them with the join code. So that's one of our other big announcements as well.
Is a wise stewardship of resources, because if we can start pushing some of this AI processing down to the individual machine, this is what really folks have been waiting for. I've been testing an AI-based file management system for my particular type of computer. Right now, this type of thing is not built into operating systems, but it gives you so much capability when you literally have a small language model on your individual machine. We can't even imagine what's about to happen with our personal computing devices.
Yeah. The last one is, and this is making sure our software can be accessed by different learning management systems, because obviously not everyone uses Teams for education. So another one of our big announcements at ISTE is that we're building what we call a unified LTI app. So LTI, for all the geeky teachers out there, that's kind of an open standard that allows you to add different apps into your LMS. You can easily add it to Canvas. I can add my app into Schoology or on other LMSs. So Microsoft has had a bunch of mishmash of apps that are all different. Like the IT admin, poor IT admin, would have to install the OneDrive LTI app and then separately the OneNote LTI app or OneDrive and OneNote LTI apps or the Reflect LTI app. What we've done is we said, let's make it much easier. So there's just one LTI app to rule them all. One installation of, we'll call it the Microsoft 365 LTI app. And an educator can add that into their Canvas or Schoology and access all the different things. So another big announcement is the answer is yes. With this unified LTI experience, you'll be able to add the learning accelerators into places like Canvas and Schoology much more easily, and there'll be a much less of a Teams dependency. We've made it easier. So the unified LTI app that'll have all these different Microsoft education experiences with one install, not 10. As a bonus you'll get is the learning accelerators will be able to operate inside of your LMS much easier with this unified installation.
Very exciting things. Mike Tholfsen, Principal Group Project Manager for Microsoft Education. Thanks for coming on the show, Mike. Thanks for tuning in to the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast. Watch the video version of this podcast and catch my new radio and TV show, Cool Cat Teacher Talk, on YouTube and a radio or TV station near you. Join my Cool Cat Teacher Classroom Matters newsletter at coolcatteacher.com/newsletter. Leave a review if you found this helpful. See you later, educator.